Julie?
All right, let's get into it now with Fox News contributor Dan Hoffman. He's former CIA station chief. Dan, Netanyahu appeared to say over the weekend this war is not over until the remaining enriched uranium stockpile is outside of Iran, outside of the country. The White House, though, says not so fast. We could actually foresee a future in which we negotiate some kind of a deal with Iran. They allow us in to monitor the stockpile, and it actually stays there, wherever it is, buried under the Isfahan rubble. Who's right?
I mean, either way, those are possible solutions. I can tell you that the last thing any of us could have expected was for Iran to indicate that there might be some optimism for a deal in the near term with President Trump heading to Beijing for a summit. Iran would never have wanted to put any wind in President Trump's sails to give the president leverage in upcoming meetings with Xi Jinping. With the war in Iran unresolved and continued disruption to the global economy, that helps Iran's ally, China. And so I think that's one of the reasons why we're not going to see any movement, any positive movement, until after the Beijing summit.
President Trump, as Bill mentioned, blasted the Iranian response to the latest iteration of the MOU. For good reason. It seems that the heart of the matter, the sticking point in all of this, which is Iran's willingness to potentially bring about an end to their nuclear facilities and their nuclear program, is the same sticking point that was in place a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, even during the president's first term.
Yeah, well, look, our military strikes have been extraordinarily successful tactically. We, together with Israel, have decapitated Iran's leadership and destroyed much of their ballistic missile capability and their drone facilities. What we haven't done is change the regime's behavior. The hardliner IRGC security forces are in control, and they have shown no willingness to enter into negotiations in good faith, which is what the military campaign, U.S. military campaign, was all about. Military action is designed to create strategic opportunities for us so we can achieve our objectives, and thus far we haven't done that. I'm quite sure that President Trump and his national security team right now are huddling together with Director Ratcliffe to look at CIA sources on Iran's plans and intentions and pain points so that we can step out smartly with perhaps new efforts to try to induce a change in Iran's regime behavior.
So Senator Lindsey Graham weighing in on the conflict, he says that's it. Diplomacy is dead. It is time to reconsider launching a full-scale war, essentially. I'm paraphrasing. Here's part of what he said. In light of the totally unacceptable response to America's diplomatic proposal, it is, in my view, time to consider changing course. Project Freedom Plus sounds pretty good right about now. I think, Dan, what this fails to sort of count in the equation here is that the administration's really doing both things at once already. There's this diplomatic track that they have been on since the get-go, and there is the military campaign. They are really pursuing military leverage and diplomacy at the same time in tandem. Have you ever seen a president approach a foreign adversary in this way before?
Look, we need to do all of those things. And remember, we've got this effective economic blockade in the Strait of Hormuz, which is causing Iran more discomfort economically. So military action, the blockade, and we need to negotiate. All of those things, I agree with you, have to happen simultaneously. And the only way we get to a place we want to negotiations is by driving up the pressure and increasing our leverage over Iran.
Dan, we got to leave it there. Thanks for joining us this morning. Learn a lot from your perspective, as always. Bill?
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.